Hello and welcome to another review by Dad Game Time. We're here at Cabin Creek in Idaho. This is available on Orbix as part of the Not So Deadly 3 Idaho, and I was just actually the plan is to review the Taog's Hangar Llama, but I love the work that they've put into the Deadly 3 and the Not So Deadly 3, and my understanding is there's going to be even more of these coming out, so really nice bush strips and lots of details. Like, you have to get out of the plane, you've got to walk around the strip, you can't just fly in and that's it. Did he just wag his tail? He did. Anyway, he's put in a lot of work into these runways. The airstrips have erosion bars in them, trees of various sizes that are accurate to the strips at least, so we've got that as well. And then I was coming through here earlier and I saw this little crow sitting up here on the hitching post, just kind of minding his business, turned his head looking around, and I went to see, well, okay, you can't shoot here. And apparently you're only allowed to stay for 13 days, so not quite 2 weeks. Keep your dog on a leash. Oh, no, wait a minute. Campground host is at Site 13. The stay limit here is 16 days, so no fireworks. I guess you put your registration in there when you get here. And I have POIs turned on, which I never do, but he has put so many things into this. If you don't have the POIs on, sometimes it's hard to find. Unless you have it mapped out already. Hello. That buck is turning his head and wagging his tail at us too. Haven't scared him off yet, at least. And what do we have here? A little, another bird. It's not a hawk, is it? Yeah, it's a hawk. Not going to take the time to identify what type right now, but if you have the Juice Goose, if you're familiar with the Juice Goose from Parallel 42, this is another great place to come hang out in it with your friends. Set up your tents, come drive around in the Not So Deadly 3. And of course there's he's got birds flying. It's just so many things to get out and find. And smoke coming out of the little cabin. There's I guess somebody's horse here waiting for them. A couple of cabins for people to stay in. You can go wagon wheel. Yeah. Trees that have been knocked down. So these strips aren't quite as dangerous as the Deadly 3, so they don't concern me nearly as much. But the other thing is, you'll find in his strips, you're going to find not just the rocks, but he's got logs where they belong. If you can see from the aerial, look, rocks, driftwood. There's rapids at places. I found a guy fishing. What is that, a deer? Another deer? Another buck out here. Yeah, here we go. And there was a fish leaping earlier. I was out here checking on the guy that was fishing, and he had fish leaping out of the water. You just never know what you're going to spot. I mean, it is just, if you like to explore the wilderness in real life, or you've always wanted to but you don't have an opportunity to, this is a good package for that too. So not just the flying stuff, but so much involved. Anyway, I've got lots of airstrips here in Idaho, but let's get back to our helicopter if we can. Where were we? We're at Cabin Creek here in the Not So Deadly, if I recall correctly. So let's go check back in on Cabin Creek. There's the cabins, and back there was the creek. So there's a bird flying overhead. Gosh, I mean, really, this sim is just really fun. I've really enjoyed especially some of the commercial packages people put together. Anyway, back to the point of the video in the first place, which is Taog has released what I consider sort of the helicopter version of the Jeep, or I don't know what you might consider a Land Rover. just a good utility vehicle of a helicopter, and we've got to turn that blade because you're not supposed to start the engine with the blade right over the exhaust, so we'll have to figure something out. But this thing is a beautiful work of art. I want you to come in here with me and take a look at some of this stuff. Look at the detail he's put in here. Okay, now I'm gonna, and there's so many more things to look at, but I'm gonna move the cyclic so the sort of the pilot's joystick that sits between his knees, and you can watch. We're gonna get out of the camera if I can. I'm gonna have to do something else. I have to turn off the developer mode is what I have to do or turn it on because I think I'm still in the developer camera because I couldn't get the other one to work. So now we'll turn off the developer mode, right? And then we'll apply and go back. Now we should be able to go into the helicopter somehow, right? No? There we go. Now we're inside the helicopter. Okay. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit back in here for you. Now I'm in sort of the spot view, but I can use the joystick now to show you. If you if you see here in the cabin, you see the joystick moving in the cabin, watch the rotor blades. And now I'm going to move the cyclic, or the collective, which is moving the pitch of the blades up and down. So it really gives you a sense of how helicopters work too, because when you are raising the collective, what you're doing is you're just increasing the angle of attack of the blade. So it's just getting more lift or more pull. What'd you call that? More lift, yeah. Anyway, and it's not just there, it's also back here in the tail, so I can use the rudder pedals, and he's got all the linkages set up for the engine. I mean, it is just stunningly beautiful helicopter. I am really, really pleased with this. And I know helicopters aren't everybody's thing, and for some folks, they get into it and their response is, I can't fly helicopters. It feels like a waste of time to me. I don't want to goof around. This isn't a helicopter simulator. It is. It's a flight simulator. Microsoft has put in helicopter simulation now, and while I'm not fond of all the settings they put in, but they've put some assists in there and whatnot, and they'll really help you. So this is our bare bones helicopter without anything more added to it, but we can open some doors here. How monstrous this cabin is. Imagine, this has got to be one of the best helicopters to use for search and rescue, fire spotting, exploration, examination of power lines or gas lines or whatever. I mean, really an amazing job. But just like in the Alouette, we can put the glare shield on to cut down on the reflections. A little bit different animation he's put on the clipboard, really interesting. And he's put in a bubble door. And this is a trade-off that he says he's made. He's going to keep working to try to fix it so that you can remove the doors on both sides. But right now, one of the compromises he's made in creating this helicopter, he said, was to you can remove the right-hand door or the left-hand door. So I can click on the little thing there. Yeah, see, door's gone. If we go outside, that door's gone. But you can't remove the pilot side door or the right-hand door. The compromise for now was because he really wanted the observation bubble door, which not a bad trade-off. I do like the idea of not having a door, but it's essentially the same thing, but without all the noise. We're going to go over there to the Rush Point Creek Fire Lookout. And we could stop and look at the Stoll Sandbar challenge that we've got set up here in the Not So Deadly 3 through Orbix. But we can get rid of the bubble door, and you can do a medevac setup. So you've got, a patient litter, you've got first aid kits. Look at this stuff. You come to the back seat, and he's put safety cards in the back of the seat of the helicopter. Look at the detail in this thing. I mean, he put his heart and soul into this thing. It is really nice. Shut off the medevac. Let's go to the roof cover, which is like a sun cover for you in the roof. Um, you know, it looks like it's got little fiberglass rods maybe. It'd be really interesting if you could pull this forward and back, but I don't think it's really designed for that. I think it's just designed to keep the sun off of you in like deserty places. I haven't quite figured out how this works because I can't get a pilot or a co-pilot to display in here. And if I step outside, there's a pilot, but no co-pilot. And if I unclick these, there's still a pilot and no co-pilot. So I'm not sure what it does, but I'm sure I'm just doing it wrong. And again, you can put the winch on, and you can put, I'm sure you're going to have things you can do with the winch, either now or in the future, and I just haven't figured that out yet. The side baskets you've got there, the fire tank, so you can fill up with water, and then I think you could. Can you dump? No. Well, maybe you can, and I just haven't figured it out yet. But I'm not sure that he's got that set up yet. The side boxes, which we are familiar with from the Alouette, and antennas, which we also talked about on the Alouette, is more of a military option. But I would think that would be a really good search and rescue thing too for what are those things called? The EPIRBs. And I can't remember what that stands for. I just know they're called EPIRBs. But you can triangulate where somebody is. There's a agriculture spray kit. As of right now, the spray kit isn't operational. But look, he's even got the plumbing and everything hooked up, ready to go for it. So that's good. He's got the mirror. The mirrors here. Right now they're just reflecting the ground, but it'll show what's underneath you. Sling loads. If you put the sling on, you have a choice of a Bambi bucket. And so you can fly the helicopter over a body of water, and if you're, I think it's under 25 feet, if you're under 25 feet above the ground level, so you watch your radar altimeter or altitude and see if you're below 25 feet, your Bambi bucket will fill with water. And then you can use, and I've got a switch set up for it, but it's the toggle taxi light button, and it will drop the water. Or if you choose the crate, you will pick up a cargo, and you will carry that. And look at this, 3 types of engine covers he's put on here. So type 1. Let's come out here and take a look. Just a solid standard white, well, whatever the livery calls for, engine cover there. And then there is the mesh here. And then the last one, I believe, is a filter, like a sand filter. It's really, really cool. Skis for when you're on muddy or snowy ground. It gives you a wider footprint so you can set the helicopter down without sinking too far into the ground. Very cool. Wheels, and you can actually move the helicopter around. He's given you sort of like you can sort of roll the helicopter on its wheels where it needs to go. And we take the wheels off. There is a searchlight that goes on the front, and I haven't figured out how to move the searchlight or turn it on, but I'm sure that's either there or coming, and I haven't figured it out. You can stop the rotor wash, which I really like, and you can stop the vortex ring state. Well, we left the mirror on. Oh, that'll be all right. Anyway, let's get this thing started. Like I said, this is clearly a work of art and a lot of love, and I want you to be able to hear the sound, so I'll try not to talk so much, but really neat. And while we're here at the Not So Deadlies, we'll go check out the fire tower. Where did I say that was? That's off to our right here. So we'll start up here. Hear the engines whine a little bit. Hear the radios kick on. I'll turn on some instrument lighting because it's getting a little darker than I expected it to be. I've already got the fuel on, so you don't have to worry about that. Fuel pump on, fuel booster. Let's go to external lights. Make sure we've got some lights on. We do. And let's start her up. Listen to her go. Just a come back in and slowly add the fuel. And that way, hopefully, we'll get to hear the engine when the fire goes. Hear it. Get the spark. Hopefully we have enough fuel. There we go. Yep, got it roaring to life. And as you can see, the rotor is turning in the direction of the airfoil. Basket in the back with our emergency supplies. I mean, that's some great sound, great animations, great lighting. The textures are wonderful. The modeling is beautiful. I love the work that he's put into this so much. So, looks like I'm guessing this is not a Red Cross, so I'm guessing that's a safety kit of some kind. I'm not sure what it would be. Fire extinguisher under our co-pilot seat. Let's go over here and take a look. Yep, there it is. And I think our EPIRB is over here. Like, look, I've taken my feet completely off of the pedals. It's not necessarily a great idea, but you don't have to put as much anti-torque in once you've got some forward speed. I'm not sure if that's how real helicopters are, but I assume so, because I know he's had this thing like checked and double checked and triple checked by 3 or 4 different real-world Llama pilots. Okay, there's where those sandbars are. We'll have to go check those out. Turn on our landing lights. See, that does light up quite a big area, doesn't it? So let's go see if maybe there's a place we can put our helicopter down up here by the fire tower. So, as with any aircraft, when we gain altitude quickly like that, we lose airspeed, which is not a bad thing right now because I want to lose some of my forward airspeed. And if I say, hey, I really want to gain some speed, and I push my nose forward to pick up forward speed, I tend to lose altitude. So always keep in mind that's really all there is to the helicopter flying. I wish more people would take an interest in the helicopters. My fear is that a lot of people get the early introduction to it, and it's they can be put off by what seems like a fairly steep learning curve. And I suppose it is, but it's not so bad that it can't. With a little bit of time, you can figure them out. So we're going to get a little closer to the mountain here. We're going to lean it over, and then we're going to bring our nose up so we cut some of our speed back. Right, so there's our fire tower, lookout tower for watching for forest fires here in Idaho in the summertime. They bring people who get paid to be out here all summer, some retired folks and some college students, and oh boy, I wonder if you could land a Cub up there. It looks like there'd be enough space. I suspect that's what he's challenging you to do with this, is see if you can't put your Super Cub, Kit Fox, your Wilga up on top of this mountain, find a spot and land. I can't really see where the tower is, so I need to keep trying to lose altitude slowly. You never want to come down too fast, because if you do, you'll get caught in that vortex ring state, and then you really come down fast, and you don't want to do that. So try to keep some forward speed, but not so much that we overfly it. But and if you are just going to hover and then land directly from the hover, you're going to have to descend very slowly so that you don't end up having problems. And there's a nice little square for us to land the helicopter in. And there's our fire tower. Whoops, 223. That's a little higher than I was hoping for, but not awful. Not great, not awful. Let's go ahead and turn the engines down here. Hide my embarrassing landing right there. And we'll turn the switches on. Let's turn the blower on.
Couldn't find valid airport data at this position. Services are not available.
GSX is not happy because I landed someplace where it can't provide services. Hey, there's an eagle circling overhead, or a hawk of some kind. By the way, this is a terrible way to land. I should not land this way in a helicopter ever. Just to give you a heads up. Look at that, he even left the ends of the pipes open. Huh. Oh, I left my head on. Hang on, head tracking. Let me turn off the head tracking. So anytime you land on a surface that's It's fairly level, but essentially you want to land sideways to a hill, but if that makes any sense whatsoever. And I cannot figure out why. Oops-a-daisy. Why I can't seem to figure out why my silly camera's all messed up here. So I'm all the way back at Cabin Creek with my camera. It won't, well, there we go. I got it to work now. Sheesh. Didn't want to just zip up behind the aircraft like you normally expect it to, but look at that. He's got downed logs, more deer. That's like a fawn. A big buck of some kind. No, that's... Huh. I don't know what that is. It's spotted deer of some kind. I don't know what those are. But fire tower up here. Beautiful fire tower. Lots of flowers he's put up here. And so in the summertime, the sides would obviously be open. The person would stay in the fire tower and keep an eye out on the surrounding countryside and look for forest fires, and then they radio it in to the heliattack base, who comes out here with Bambi buckets full of water in our helicopters like we have here, and they fight the fires. But there's Cabin Creek that we came from, and there's the Stoll Bars that we'll go check out, and Vines Airstrip is one of the 3 deadly. Soldier Bar, if you don't have Soldier Bar, you've missed out on an interesting experience landing and taking off. It's like 3 runways in a row, but they're spaced oddly. I don't know who decided that would be a great idea for a runway, but it's a real thing. It really exists, and it is scary that is something people actually do in real life. So anyway, let's get this thing started, fired back up, and hopefully we can. Pumps are running. Turn the starter back on. And there comes the turbine whining. I'm going to turn off those mirrors. Not a fan of those. We'll put the bubble door on so we can see a little better. Whew. That's some visibility there. But even if you're not a big helicopter person and you haven't taken to helicopter flying yet, it's a good one to start with. I have to say, I am extremely happy with this helicopter. I feel like I said he's put his heart and soul into it, so it's, if anybody deserves it, it's these guys that put so much effort and work into it. Oh, and by the way, all the circuit breakers work. It is an amazing helicopter, to say the least. I have been enjoying it. It came out yesterday, and I know there was like a countdown on his Discord for a while because there were people who were just so excited about this one, and I can't say as I blame them. It is neat, and you click this screw and you get a GPS and a regular transponder, because of course your radios are contained therein. And that GPS don't really need more than that. We're currently at 7,300 feet pressure altitude. Cool. It's got all sorts of interesting things to look at here. This gauge always throws me off. I'm not really sure how it works, and he's included instructions in the manual, and I'm just not figuring it out. Mostly because I think I have my weights and stuff set to pounds. Like it says weight, pounds and knots, and then this is all in metric, and I can convert it. I just don't have a calculator handy, so I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going back to the old Collins radios, or those Bendix Kings. Those are Bendix Kings. But the seats, the textures in the belts, a little bit of shine maybe on those belts, or is that just wear and tear? Oh, that's wear and tear. I was like, wait a minute, that's a little shiny. go take a look at some of these other airstrips here. We are going to turn off our landing light, and we're going to stay in the canyon here as best we can. We're not going to be bullseyeing womp rats or anything, but we're going to do our best to give us a good helicopter experience tonight. Look at that canyon. Wow, the sunset coming in on the water up ahead there, really pretty. So, if you are interested in Idaho, like I said, there's lots of freeware available for it. There's really wonderful paver airstrips if you want to fly around in this particular state. It's a beautiful state, but it is sort of a bush junkie's dream location to fly. People come out here and train to fly bush planes, and then you go to McCall, and the Orbix also has a McCall airport that is incredibly detailed. I mean, really beautiful work. And I love to fly out of the McCall airport, and I'll go out to the Not So Deadly and the Deadly 3 collections, or I go out to Johnson Creek, and a lot of these freeware airports. But McCall has like the smoke jumper base and lots of helicopters based out there, and it just serves as a good sort of, oh wow, imagine coming in and trying to land there. Look at that, both ends of that airport, that airstrip. And of course we're going way too fast, so we're gonna have to swing back around. And I'm just gonna quickly swing the tail here, and that'll really cut our forward speed a lot. And we'll just give it a little side, and we're almost to a stop. Okay. And we'll just come on down onto the Vines airstrip. But look at the approach to that Vines airstrip. No wonder that is. I think this one's in the Deadly 3, Idaho Deadly 3 that Orbix sells. I'm not trying to sell you on Orbix, but I love Idaho, so I'm not going to miss an opportunity to pick up some bush airstrips. If you have parallel 42s camping setup, or the Juice Goose, it gives you more places to goof around with those as well. You can come out here and set up your campsites and drive your ATV, UTV through the, oh, that was, ouch, 544. All right, I'm sorry, that doesn't count. I'm going to take off and try to do a better job of landing. I'm sorry, I was just trying to avoid trees and I got caught in something there. It brought me down pretty quickly, but that's embarrassing. I'm so sorry. Like I said, I am not an expert helicopter pilot at all, but I sure do enjoy it. And you don't have to be an expert. Like I said, it's a bit embarrassing, but just do what I'm doing. Give it another shot. Look at that rotor wash kicking up. There we go. Look at that. Didn't even register a touchdown that time. Maybe it's because I didn't get up high enough. That's probably what it is. But here's the other thing that he's done that's really nice. If you feel like you can't fly these helicopters very well, I'm going to hop out here, turn off head tracking. We're going to go exploring a little bit over here. Ruin everybody's idyllic camping trip here, or fishing trip, as the case may be, with our helicopter. But if you feel like, you know what, I'm just no good at flying helicopters and I don't know what to do, he has included in this one, that guy looks like he's flying a drone. I'm trying to figure out where the drone is. But he's included an easier flight model to make it a little simpler for folks that maybe are just starting out. Look at those fish jumping. So it gives you an opportunity to fly. So he's trying to make this as accessible as possible to both the pilots who really want to fly as realistically as possible, and for those who are just sort of doing it casually. And I have to applaud that effort. But he included in your download, you get Pilot is the default, which is the really realistic flight model, and then he also has included in it an easy flight model. So you can just move the flight model into the right folder and change it to the easier flying helicopter if that's what you wish. And I think on his Discord he even released another one. And the other thing about this guy's work, look at the visibility out of that bubble door. Let's lean over and look. Oh, probably not a good idea when you're flying a helicopter to lean over like that. But with the head tracking, I thought maybe we'd get away with it. Anyway, that's just looking for people putting up SOS or smoke signals or something, I guess. It's a great little feature to have that bubble door. If I'm not flying this correctly and you're a real-world Llama pilot or you know somebody who did, please forgive me. I am, like I said, I'm not a pilot. I don't know. I just enjoy this. I think if you haven't given a helicopter a shot, this is a reasonably priced add-on with good quality. So you can go and pick up the add-on, and I don't remember what he's charging for it. I think it's maybe about $30. I hate to tell you wrong, so don't take my word on that. Go to flightsim.to and take a look in the premium store at what Taog's Hangar is charging for it. But it's one of the least expensive add-on payware helicopters, and really just a great product, and it'll be updated, and you're going to get all the continued love from the author. And if you're thinking about something about Christmas, I would say start looking at Orbix and get those. My suggestions are the following. I'd say go McCall, the Idaho Deadlies, and Johnson Creek. Those are my suggestions for your Idaho adventures. And the Juice Goose from Parallel 42 and their camping stuff. It's just so much fun to be had right now in the Idaho backwoods. And the nice thing is the helicopter and the Juice Goose and some of this stuff will transfer to places like Alaska. And oh gosh, this is it, huh? This is the landing spot. Jeez. This has to be one of the Idaho Deadly, because there is no way this is not deadly. That is a dangerous spot. I'll try to set down next to this Super Cub if I can do it without crashing. And try to get right off his nose here. 401, still horrible. Reset it and try it again. See if we can get a better landing this time. Problem is, once you get into that ground effect, it can be tough. So we're going to hop over the trees and see if we can hit that sort of flat, bare spot up there. Maybe we can do it. Let's take our time. No, not that much forward, not that much forward, a little less. Okay, down slowly, come on. Down, slowly. Slow, whoa. Not forward, down, not back, down. Oh boy. Come on, down. And we didn't get a ranking that time because we didn't go up high enough. Darn it. Okay. There's an old plow out here. This must have been an old farm or a ranch for some old settler back in the day, I'm guessing. Jeez, imagine trying to land that one in a bush plane. That's an interesting approach, because you would have to come, you have to come around here. So you got this sort of I don't know what you guys would call it. that last second we set down pretty hard. I'm sorry. Hello, Mr. Deer. There's a whole bunch of deer there, aren't there? I'm just want to get close to the ground. It seems like there's coming down. Maybe I'm coming down too quickly. So we'll try one more time. One more. See if I can settle without killing myself. Anyway, playing with these. Oh gosh, is that a big old deer over there? I don't even know what the hell. Why was I looking at the deer instead of the where I was flying? Come on, don't hit a tree. Don't hit a tree. No, 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 no. All right, we're getting out of here. I can't do that. That's going to be too much stress for now. We're going to come around and try again. It's my goofiness because I'm the one who stopped and looked at the tree. Should not have done that. Okay. Let's see if we can not gain too much speed or altitude here. Try to come down again without killing ourselves, hitting a tree, or paying attention to the deer. Okay. Ah, crud. Of course, what did I do? 267. We'll call it. We'll call it. The body's cold at this point. We're good. I'm sorry. I'd love to be a perfect example of how you should fly this thing so you guys can go, oh, that's easy. And it is. It's a lot of fun, but it does take practice. All airplanes do. All aircraft do, don't they? It's not just helicopters. So let's turn off head tracking. Turn down our lights. Turn off the fuel pump, kill the fuel, get rid of my embarrassing 267, which although it's not really as embarrassing as some of the other ones we did. Generator off, lights off, battery off.
Couldn't find valid airport data at this position.
GSX, stop
Services
it.
are not available.
I am aware, just shush. But anyway. This helicopter actually has a really cool history. Essentially, they just made, it's an Alouette 2, but they cut a bunch of weight off of it and made the cabin smaller, but obviously still functional. And this thing can climb. I think it, for the longest time, held the record for climbs by a single-engine helicopter. Boom. So I'm just going to goof with the controls a little here. Let's see what we can still do. And anyway, I think it got up to 40,000 feet, 42,000 feet, something like that in a helicopter. And so it held like an altitude record for helicopters for a while. Of course, you'd have had to have done that with some sort of oxygen, I would imagine. But anyway, how in the world do you make this landing in a... All right, that sounds like another mission for us. Anyway, really interesting helicopter. Great, like I said, just like a flying Jeep. Really beautifully done. Lots of fun to fly. If you like flying bush planes and you're not trying to fly VIP transport, you're looking for a rugged helicopter that you can go have some fun with. This is like an all-terrain vehicle, which all helicopters are, but this isn't, you're not going to have to dust this one. It is, like I said, it's a Jeep, it's a Land Rover, it's a cool, somebody described it in, I saw a review that said it's a bug. It looks like a bug, and I mean, I guess I can see that, but when I look at it, I just see all the possibilities that we have flying it around here in these little bush strips. So if you're looking for something to do, or you've gotten tired of your flight sim that you've been up to, I'd say go ahead and pick up these Idaho strips, fly your bush planes out here, pick up Taog's Hangar's Llama, and if you love the Llama and you want something a little bigger with a little more mission capability, then start looking at his Alouette, or vice versa. If you already have the Alouette, definitely pick this one up. But this is a wonderful product, and you're getting a bargain price too. So I just couldn't be any happier with the purchase. So that's it, guys. That's my review. I hope you got to see what it looks like, how it flies. You got to hear something about it. We talked about its history. We did some flying here in the backcountry with it. And this helicopter actually was used in this part of Idaho. The Crassel Helitack team used it for putting out forest fires for years. It was a very common sight in the Idaho backcountry. So, and I think Hollywood had them. Anyway, doesn't matter. Wonderful helicopter. Highly recommend that you pick it up. Very, very happy with all the details on it. You know, I would tell you straight up if I wasn't happy with something. I've always done that in the past. And no, I was not paid for any of these products, and I did not receive any of them for free. This all came out of my own pocket, and these are all things that I chose for myself. So that's why you got this review, because, well, I liked it, so I thought maybe you would too. And Dewey Moore is included. It's in one of the Deadly Three. So go back and to that Orbix page we were talking about earlier, and check out Dewey Moore and see if you can get your favorite bush plane in here. All right, thanks, guys. Hit the subscribe button for me, please, or like the video so that I have some idea that you stopped by. Otherwise, I don't really know whether or not we're doing well with people, and I'd love to know that people are actually watching the videos. Thanks, and we'll talk to you in the future. Bye-bye.